Welcome back to the Lidat podcast. I am coming with you with breaking news. Trump has been charged with 34 felonies. That's right. I am not misspeaking. 34 felonies. We are in history, my friends. Please consider leaving a like and share if you appreciate the type of content. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting time. 2024 is a very, very interesting year. I want to start this off by listening to Trump's response. It came out not too long ago. I want to say about 30 minutes to an hour ago. His response is he just spoke to the media. Twitter is going insane. I'm seeing a lot of support going either which way. Um, since tonight I'm going to be by myself, Jose will be preoccupied today. What I'm hoping to do is call a couple of my friends, see kind of what their reaction is. Maybe I can call someone over there in New York, see how people over there in New York are moving. Let's see what happens. I might also call one of my friends from California that also, just like I, moved from a blue state into the red state of Texas because of certain decisions that will be made in our respective states at the time, right? I do want to preface a little bit of this information with I will try to steer as much away from the legality of the situation, only because I haven't read enough about it. A lot of it is strictly breaking news, and I don't want to get a lot of facts about the situation wrong. What I will do is interpret how this will affect the future. I will interpret and make my predictions on the 2024 election, and another also a prediction on how the country will react to the situation. Right, Twitter is also going to help us with that a little bit. Twitter right now should be going it's an uproar. Right. Before with that being said, let me go straight into Trump's reaction right now. Let me open this up for you guys so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let's go right here. Let's share this. All right, I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit. Holy shit! Was I muted for all that? Hopefully, I was muted for all that. But if I was, I'll repeat that and I'll edit that part out. Uh, I believe he's saying conflicted only because he doesn't want to be. He doesn't have further issues by saying a judge is compromised. Right? Being compromised suggests something else. Again, I'm not the biggest legal expert in the world. I'm not a legal expert whatsoever. Didn't go to school for it. So I really trust other sources when it comes to certain legality situations. But if I was a betting man, and kind of sort of am a betting man, I'm imagine that Trump's lawyers told him, "Hey, don't call the judge compromise to the public because that could lead to bigger issues, especially now that he has to appeal." And one of the biggest things when appealing is that the judge has to determine, regardless if the judge is going to or not, because I think this judge isn't going to listen to anything Trump has to say about whatever. One of the biggest factors on whether you get on your sentencing is basically if you seem remorseful or not. And Trump is definitely not remorseful. But calling a judge compromise would just make the situation worse for you. You know what I mean? Let's continue here. Agreed. Like the media throwing a lot of questions at the guy, trying to see if they can rattle him and whatnot. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's gonna make any other public statements and whatnot. I'm actually gonna look up his Truth Social right now, see if he's made any comment on there. We can read it out loud together. I probably should have looked it up in the first place. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. But I imagine now the whole goal for him is to look forward into the future. It's going to be very interesting because I think the judge has set the date for the sentencing to be in was June 11th. June 11th. So he has a couple of weeks to get everything together to see what's going to be said, what's going to be done, and whatnot. Man, this is historic. Let me see if I could find that response for you guys real quick. I did see it earlier on my own personal Twitter. Right now I'm using let's see. Let me see if I can just find it on Google. While I'm doing that, let me just give a little more deep dive before I can find it right now, right? This so first, here's a nuance. Here's my nuanced position on this. This is gonna lead down a bad road. It's gonna lead down a bad road because I think people understand the pendulum always swings, right? So whenever you put this pendulum at the highest it could possibly be, where I believe a lot of Trump supporters are gonna argue that right now the Democrats, Biden are participating in Definitely election interference, right? And they brought the pendulum all the way up, now they're using the legal system, using laws as a cudgel, using it as an anvil. They're placing his head on the law and just hammering it in, boom, 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 which is not great. Which is not great. What's going to happen now is if you have a son that's having issues legally, you don't want this because all it takes is pissing off one person that has enough power to shift things where the pendulum is going to swing the other way around. So the one thing the thing that smacked the one person on this side of the face is going to come back and kick the other person in the ass. That's usually what's going to happen right there, right? Now, on to some of my views on this situation, me myself personally. I personally think this is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever witnessed a political opponent do in terms of the political ramifications of this situation. You just made a white billionaire from New York City who is blonde with blue eyes into the ultimate underdog. That's what you just created. You just created the ultimate underdog. If this man goes to jail and he wins the election while in jail, it's going to be insanity. Insanity in the entire country. One. Right? But here's the flip side of that. Here's the fucking flip side of that. The flip side of this is if he loses while he's in jail, you guys just might have unleashed hell in this country. And I'm not sure if that's what people want. I don't know if that's what people want, right? You could have just beaten him at the ballot box. Well, I'm not saying you could have beaten him, but let's say theoretically, you could have beaten him at the ballot box and he would have been done. What Democratic apparatus decided to do instead was throw case after case after case after case after case at this man. Gave him 34 felonies over on a single charge, and the charge itself is supposed to be done by a federal court, and it was done by a state court. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's being done. I understand that the judge could potentially be compromised, or as Trump could say, conflicted. But holy, I mean, I know the people over there are not dumb, right? I imagine that they believe that not only is this gonna electrify their base, this is also going to just make Trump look so bad that his supporters are just not going to support him. Let me tell you something. Trump supporters are not going nowhere. They're not. Then, if this happened to Biden, this would affect Biden. People would look at him differently. The thing is, Trump's a different animal. You're not gonna make the guy that got public for grab them by the pussy. You're not gonna make this guy look like an evil villain. He did that and won. Do you understand what I mean? He people know about his whole career. People know the women he's been with, and no one cared when they voted him in over Hillary. Honestly, I personally feel like this is less about Biden and more about Hillary. Hillary's like, you did this to me a couple years ago. By the way, the building where I think it's the Javits Center or whatever, one of the building that she had the glass ceiling on, when she like the metaphorical glass ceiling that she's gonna break it to become the first female president of all time. I'm not sure if you guys know this. It was Trump that built that building in the first place, which is freaking hilarious. And he built it and she lost in it. It's the poetry there is insane. Honestly, I think this is more Hillary Clinton than it is Biden, right? I don't think Biden has a single brain cell left in his body. I think they find brain cells and kind of put inside of a soup and he eats it for a little bit to get a little bit smart and just whatever. But holy, and again, I'm more nuanced in my politics, but this has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen happen. He got charged with what's the exact word for it? Like a wrongful documentation or something. Let me look at the exact wording for it. Right, I want to make sure I'm correct on exactly what he's charged for. Let me. Let's see. Okay, so let me share this with you guys again so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let's see. So let's look at it. A New York jury on Thursday found Donald Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. The first time a former U.S. president has been convicted of a crime. The jury reached its verdict in a historic case after 9.5 hours of deliberation, which began Wednesday. He will be sentenced on July 11th. So I said June 11th, July 11th. 4 days before the Republican National Convention. He faces penalties from a fine to 4 years in prison on each count, although it's expected he would be sentenced for the offenses concurrently, not consecutively. I mean, firstly, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a case handled by the feds, and it was handled by in New York State. Firstly, right? He's also not only is he the first person, not only is he the first president to ever be convicted or charged with felony charges and whatnot. He's also the first person in all of New York State to be charged with this and not charged with it, but get felonies get a felony for this charge. He's the first person. You telling me New York City, the one of the places with the most businesses in the world, conveniently decides that on a case like this, we're going to convict Donald Trump because they couldn't find nothing else. Is that what people are going to tell me right now? That the man has been a businessman in that city. What, he's like 80 years old? He's been a businessman in that city for so long that now. And then also hush money to a porn star. You can't pay hoes to shut the fuck up anymore? Bro, if you live in New York and you can't pay hoes to shut the fuck up anymore, leave New York, bro. Like, New York is dead. New York is dead. It's a dead state. Leave it, bro. Leave it. You should be able to throw fucking cash at these hoes and tell them shut up. It was that simple. But now apparently you can't, right? Let me get to my first caller. I'm gonna call this guy Moody. I'll call him Moody. His name is Marco. He's from California, so this is the guy I was talking about earlier. That he's from a red state. I mean, a blue state. Moved to Texas. I'm gonna ask him a little bit why he moved in the first place, and I'm gonna ask him what he thinks about this Trump case right now. Give me 1 second while I call him real quick. Let's see. Hopefully he picks up. It'll be pretty embarrassing if he doesn't, huh? Yo, you are live on the Lidat podcast. What's up, bro? Let me ask you a question first before we start talking about the Trump situation, right? What made you leave California to come to Texas?
I feel like Texas is a better run state, more of a, at least overall, a more fair state to be in. Of course, moral and political values. So,
also doesn't lose just billions of dollars out of nowhere, you know. But
so, the video, I knew what it turned into, but obviously when I see.
Right. Now onto the Trump situation, right? Let me ask you a couple of questions. First question is going to be, what's your initial reactions to his charges and his what's your initial ideas to his charges? Second question is, are you surprised? Third question is, what do you think this means for the country? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Just the fact that the legal system could be used as a weapon against it, I understand if certain people use the legal system as a weapon, like women and or men against each other, like against other civilians. But the fact that this could be done to a former sitting president of the United States of America is insane. It comes across to me as if we live in a third world country. Like, I expect something like this to happen in Chile or Brazil or Venezuela. I don't expect something like this to happen in the United States of America. And it really puts, in my opinion, microscope on just exactly how far people are willing to go to win in whatever political field they want to win in. Where he post his comments?
Still, like I said, this is all fresh to me right now. Still in shock. I'm still in
Yeah.
shock. You know,
Agreed. Agreed. This is gonna galvanize them. Yeah.
seeing what you know, in a way, who knows? Who knows? Were they in extra votes for people in this county and representative votes? I know that for
Yeah, he was leading. Yeah. All he had to do was win like a swing state, like win Michigan or Pennsylvania, and then that's it. Yeah. Well, so here's one of my major things, right? Is that I almost let me allude a little bit to what you were saying as well. People claim that with Trump, a lot of things that we took for granted, a lot of the liberties, a lot of the essentially everything Biden did during his presidency, people said that Trump was going to do during his presidency. They said under Trump we're going to have World War III. They said under Trump we're going to have the highest inflation we've ever seen. They said under Trump that what else they said? They said oh, no more democracy. Democracy is gonna die, right? And like, bro, you telling me this judge comes about? You're telling me Ukraine, Afghanistan. You're telling me Israel right now. You're telling me highest inflation rates we had in 40 years. You're telling me all these things happened under Biden. And here's my biggest gripe with people, right? Because I don't care whether someone goes left or right, because me, I'm more independent. I'm more nuanced when it comes to politics, right? But here's my biggest issue with people, and this is what I mean. Where people don't understand where they get their ideas from, they don't think for themselves. You're telling me the Democratic Party, you're telling me the same hippies from the 70s and 80s that were against big pharma jumped on Pfizer's fucking ball sack the moment they came out with a vaccine as strongly as they did and had no fucking questions? Is that not insane? How the world changed? Like Republicans were the party of big corporations back in the day, right? And when this vaccine came out, almost unanimously amongst most Republicans, or at least Republican pundits, they were saying, "Hey, make whatever decision you want to make." But Democrats were like, "Bro, if people start dying, it's because of you. If you don't take this, oh my God, it's 100% safe." And these same people, it's like they lost the plot. It's like they don't understand. It's the crazy thing is ironic because a lot of these same people are claiming the same thing for the Jews over than Israel. They're saying, "Oh, these people just became the Nazis that they were encampment over and whatnot," right? And it's like, okay, ironically, you can notice that correlation or that juxtaposition over there, but you can't notice the fact that you are not the same Democrats you guys were a couple years ago. You go 10 years ago. And you go 10 years ago, the Democrats of then are not even Democrats of now, and people just keep shifting more and more left, more and more left, more and more left. This is gonna. Well, I'm rambling. Let me get one more question out of you. Let me see what you think about this. 2024, 2024 election. Who do you have winning this now? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember which magazine that almost literally said the deep state is real. Like it literally said it's like Trump has been saying the deep state is real. And this was not a leading news media. This was more
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these different being coming from you, like, what did you call it? Something like the deep state.
Here's the interesting thing. I was just mentioning this on the podcast a little earlier before I called you. It's they made this man the ultimate underdog. I've never seen something like this ever happen in my life, bro. Like it's like this situations in life where things like this, like okay, for example, it's almost like LeBron facing the Warriors with KD all over again, right? That's what this feels like. This is like you made LeBron, arguably one of the best basketball players of all time, into an underdog, right? When that happens, you have to look at it like, holy, who would ever think that LeBron of all people would be considered an underdog? Him beating that 72 or 73-9 team, that basketball team, solidified him in history. He's always gonna be that guy because he was underdog at that time too. What you guys just did is they made billionaire, a billionaire from New York City, a white guy that was on TV. They made that guy into the ultimate underdog. What I'm predicting is, well, I'll give you a prediction. Well, I'll give you two predictions, or more like two situations, and then a prediction on one of the situations, right? So here's one of the situations, right? One of the situations that Trump doesn't get he doesn't go to jail, which I think is very unlikely. I think this judge is going to try to put him in jail. I think that's definitely one of the major probabilities that we're going to be facing here. But let's say he doesn't go to jail, right? Let's say he doesn't go to jail. People see what happened to him, and I think he wins the election. He goes on a crazy rally spree. He goes back. He starts using his Twitter again, and he starts killing Biden all over Twitter, right? Which is what he should do. But let's say that doesn't happen, right? Let's say he goes to jail. Here's two scenarios that could happen from jail. And this is a bad thing for the Democrats no matter where it goes. If Trump is in jail and loses, this country is going to go to shit. You're gonna have millions of people uprising. That's at least my prediction. If that is the case, if that's the scenario that happens, and he loses in jail. But now here's the other side. If he goes to jail and wins, if Trump goes to jail and wins, you have now created a Nelson Mandela. That is what you have just created. And not only that, his victory will be so large and it will be so prominent that almost every country in the world would then shift as well. All these false political leaders would then start to fall down. It's gonna if he wins and they did this to him and he wins the election from jail, he doesn't even get to go to his inauguration while he's in jail. Is that not going to be insane that we will be living through essentially the next Nelson Mandela, but for our country? Yeah, yeah, they're trying to go all the way. They're trying to go all the way. And federally, this case is if this case is brought in front of a federal judge, it gets thrown away like the next day. So that's another thing. If he goes to jail, this is gonna be brought up in front of a federal judge, and this thing will be thrown away like almost immediately, right? But I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, continue.
And you have
Yeah,
all those
assassinated or something legal. Yeah, yeah, yes. Every time, massive, bro, massive. Yeah. Not only is that, the DA won the election off of the fact that they were gonna put Trump in jail. That was the whole. That was the whole spiel to be elected into office off of the fact that this person will then put Trump into jail. How is that not abuse of power? How is I mean, this is ridiculous, man. But man, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining the call. Maybe I should have you on one time live in person, and we can dive into some other subjects. All right, guys. If you guys don't know, that is Marco. I won't give you his last name. If he gives permission, I'll post some of his business links onto the YouTube so that if you guys are curious on getting some of your areas cleaned and whatnot, he will be the man for you. Again, thank you, Marco.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
All right, bye. Holy moly. What a day. What a day. So going forward, what I imagine is going to happen is we will be hearing a lot from Trump. We'll be hearing a lot from Biden. Really, right now, all the dust is in the air. All the dust is in the air. We need to see where to not just we can't just wait for the dust to settle and set. We'll see where the wind is going to blow it, right? Because right now it's all shifting. It's shifting quickly, and the left side does believe that they're winning this in this kind of situation. Again, it's going to be really interesting to see the counter moves that are going to be coming from the Republican side of the aisle. I do believe this couldn't have happened without some Republican support. So it's going to be really interesting to see how a lot of these people are going to be ousted from the Republican Party. I mean, dude, this is insane, insane. I'll try to keep you guys updated. Again, this is kind of a more quick, off the hip, just speak into the microphone. Let me let you guys know how I feel about the situation. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, please. You need to get my voice more out there to more people. I want to do more of this kind of content. Eventually in the future, I'd like this to be my main job. I can give you guys daily uploads and whatnot. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Usually, again, let me give you my schedule a little bit. Schedule's supposed to be an upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Right? So I kind of uploaded today, which is Thursday, and I'm gonna upload again Thursday today. So I'm gonna wait till maybe Friday to upload again, or maybe Monday again to upload. I have no such schedule on when it's gonna happen, but that's where I want to be at eventually. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Your guys' support means the most to me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See ya.